So this is our first blog entry. Blog. Okay. Blog. You say blog. Oh, you say og. I'll say blog. Ready? It's our first blog.
I met Erin 7 years ago in professional theater.
There are different personalities in theater programs, and ours were kind of similar, so.
Did you say dorks?
No, I didn't, but thank you. Kind of just silly, ridiculous people.
We bonded over that.
Yeah, and then we moved in together.
Yeah.
Became besties. Went to university.
And 7 years
I
later.
don't even remember. It's been forever.
I actually introduced her to Matt.
I've been dating Erin for about 3.5 years, and we've been living together for the last year.
Yes, and Matt's actually my brother, so it's a fun dynamic.
I don't know.
It's mostly around the time that you and Rebecca had been moving out of your apartment.
Yeah, and I think
Spending more time
and
around.
Becca's secret, like her mission was to, I think, get me with her brother. She talked about it a lot.
Because I always said, because we connected so well, so if there was ever a male version of me, they would be soulmates.
That's
and I've
totally
said that's what I'll
freaky.
say at their wedding.
I started my blog. It's scary. It's scary to put that stuff out there. But it's really good for me to write everything down and to see how it progressed. And I surprisingly remember it very well. Details are really easy to come by.
Ever since theater, I told her she needs to write. I said, you need to write a book, and that's it. So I'm hoping she just does it, because she's an amazing writer, and I love the blog. It's exactly how everything was happening. And when she was explaining the hospital experience, I remember being there and being like, yep, that's exactly how it was.
I had my first grand mal tonic-clonic seizure. I don't really remember much of it. I woke up. Paramedics were here. They asked me questions. I wasn't able to respond. I didn't know anything. They took me to the hospital. I met with a neurologist. We did a EEG to look for abnormal brain activity and a CT scan. There was no abnormal findings. I had something called a complex partial seizure. It was my first one. I went back to the hospital because I knew something was wrong. And we suggested an MRI. Technically, if you have any seizure, you're supposed to have this. So I did my first MRI. The following morning, I received a call from radiology. I went back to do an enhanced scan. A week later, I was diagnosed. Medial tumor, right temporal lobe. It was close to my lateral ventricle and my temporal horn. A tricky spot. I was sitting at the table, Matt was on the couch, it's kind of something that you just strap yourself in and are like, okay, so I have a fucking tumor. It's the hardest part to try to tell somebody that you care about. Got news, it's okay, everything is fine, do not freak out because I'm okay. I have a tumor, that's fine, we're going to remove it. Not a big deal, it's okay. And, he's a man. So I just kind of left him alone to digest it and give him his space.
Being a loved one of somebody, it's tough to watch them go through this process. It's something that you want to be a part of and support the best that you can. Obviously, the last 6 months have been more serious, and it's not always fun to be serious all the time.
I don't think he looks at it the same way I do at all. It's not humorous. I think it's very hard for it to be humorous to anybody but me. I mean, I make jokes about it to my family and they get upset with me. So I want to remain realistic with it. My blog, it's to the point. And I think if anybody were to read that who was going through the same situation, it's the truth. That's how it is. It sucks. It's terrible. But the way you look at it is crucial. So that's why I did the blog, for me and for others.
I think her blog is a nice way to reach out to everybody and keep everybody informed of what's going on. And it's obviously gone a little broader than that. And we have people that I wouldn't expect to be reading it. So it's kind of neat that everybody is just plugged into what she's doing and kind of
we don't really talk about
taking her through
I don't really
these last 3 crazy months or longer than that, 6 crazy months.
There are relationships with friends that I've left out. There are conversations between Matt and I that are too rough to write, so I just avoid them. It's more a message of determination. And there were low points. You know, I'm not a superhero. I cried a little bit. I screamed underwater in a pool. It's hell. But if somebody else were reading that, I wouldn't want them to get that. I wouldn't want them to see that. It's too much, so I just avoid it. It's especially with Matt. It's sacred conversations that are too personal to share. So, I'm sorry. I don't know if I said anything, but there's no guarantee my tumor is coming back, right? Like, it's not, we removed it. Enjoy the rest of your life. It was removed, it was benign. That was confirmed. There was no mitosis, so it's not going to like spread to my breast or my lungs or anything. That was confirmed. We just can't tell if it's a type of tumor that comes back more aggressive, meaning cancer. Something that I'm going to always have. You know, there's going to be scanxiety like every 6 months. It's just a way of life. There isn't very much support in terms of brain tumors. I mean, there's the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada, which is central in London, and they have amazing support systems. But in Quebec, there's very few places to turn to for answers. But luckily, my hospital has a great networking, and there's a website called Cancer Fight Club, and the director's reached out to me. She's discovered my blog, and I'm looking to writing pieces for her for the website. I've told her, I'm like, it's a case of benign here. It's not cancer yet, cross my fingers. But she says it's a story worth telling, and if I can help anybody, like this, brain cancer, brain tumors, you're the minority in the situation. You go to oncology clinics, you are the minority. If I can get somebody to realize what's going on before that point, that would be great. Tumour Humour was my outlook on the situation, right? Like, you get a tumor, you can wallow in self-pity, you can be like, poor me, or you can just suck it up and move forward. Like, it's gonna be a hell of a hike, but fuck it, you gotta do it. So that was just the way that was my mentality. I was gonna make a joke out of it. If it was gonna take me, I'd go down having fun with it, than being miserable and, tear-stained. But Tumour Humour, that was it. Bothered everybody else around me when I called it that. But yeah, it was light. It made everybody else around me comfortable. If I was joking about it, then they didn't have to be sad.